I woke up to the sound of frantic knocking on my door. The police were standing there, their expressions grave. "Your wife, Emily, has been in an accident," one of them said. "She's injured, but she's alive. We need you to come to the hospital." I followed them in a daze, my mind racing. I couldn't shake the gnawing feeling that something was terribly wrong. At the hospital, I learned that Emily had been in a car crash with another man, John. He was seriously hurt, but she'd walked away with only minor injuries. As I sat by her hospital bed, struggling to process the shock, Emily broke the news that would shatter my world. "I need to tell you something," she said, her voice trembling. "John and I were together. I'm pregnant, and the baby is his." The words hit me like a physical blow. My heart pounded in my chest as the reality of her betrayal sank in. Emily's face was a mask of guilt and fear, but it did nothing to lessen the pain I felt. Soon after the accident, things started to spiral out of control. Emily, now demanding money for medical bills and legal fees, pushed me deeper into financial trouble. I started to sell our possessions, each sale a reminder of what I was losing. My once comfortable life was replaced by the harsh reality of debt and a shrinking bank account. Determined to understand the full extent of Emily's betrayal, I began to dig into her and John's lives. It was clear they had been planning a future together, a future that no longer included me. The depth of their deceit was overwhelming, and every new revelation seemed to make the pain worse. As financial troubles mounted, I found myself selling our home and moving into a small, cramped apartment. The process was both physically and emotionally draining. Each day felt like a battle to keep going, to keep moving forward despite the overwhelming sense of loss. The divorce proceedings began, and Emily demanded substantial alimony and child support. The courtroom became another battleground, with every interaction a painful reminder of the trust and security that had been stolen from me. In the midst of this turmoil, I sought help from a therapist. Talking to someone about my feelings of betrayal and anguish became a small comfort, a way to navigate the storm of emotions I was facing. It was hard to admit, but I needed help to get through this. Despite the chaos, I tried to establish a relationship with my daughter. It wasn't easy, given the circumstances, but I wanted to be a part of her life. Emily's attempts to use our child as a weapon against me only made things more complicated. But I persevered. Gradually, I found ways to cope with the mounting debt and start rebuilding my life. A new job provided some financial relief, and slowly, I began to see a glimmer of hope amidst the ruins of my former life. As I faced the reality of starting over, I began to find solace in the small victories. Rebuilding my finances, finding a new sense of purpose, and reconnecting with my daughter gave me a reason to keep going. It was a difficult journey, but I was learning to navigate a future that was no longer the one I had planned. The days following Emily's confession felt like an endless string of bad news. Every time I thought I had a handle on the situation, something else would go wrong. I was drowning in a sea of bills, legal fees, and mounting stress. Emily's demands were relentless. She needed money for her medical expenses, and she was adamant that I contribute to the legal costs for the divorce. My once secure financial situation was rapidly deteriorating. I found myself selling off valuable possessions, my grandfather's old watch, our high-end stereo system, even my beloved motorcycle. Each sale was a painful reminder of what I was losing. The house, the symbol of our life together, was next on the list. The process of moving out of our home was heart-wrenching. The walls that once held our family photos and cherished memories were now bare and empty. Packing up our things, I felt a profound sense of loss and disbelief. Every box I packed seemed to carry a piece of my past along with it. In the midst of all this chaos, I decided to conduct my own investigation into Emily and John's lives. I hired a private investigator to dig deeper into their relationship. What I discovered was even more painful than I had imagined. They had been planning a future together for months, discussing names for the baby and even looking at houses. The depth of their betrayal was crushing. As the financial strain worsened, I was forced to move into a tiny apartment. It was a far cry from the comfortable home I once had. The new place was cramped and sparsely furnished, a stark reminder of how far I had fallen. The loneliness was suffocating, and the constant worry about money only added to the stress. The divorce proceedings were brutal. Emily was demanding a substantial alimony settlement, and I was left struggling to keep up with the payments. Each court appearance felt like another punch in the gut. The legal battles were draining both emotionally and financially. My only respite from the chaos was my therapy sessions. Talking to a therapist helped me navigate the complex emotions I was grappling with. It was during these sessions that I began to understand the depth of my pain and start to process the betrayal. Despite the ongoing drama, I tried to maintain a relationship with my daughter. I wanted to be present in her life, despite the animosity between Emily and me. Emily made it clear that she would use the child as leverage in our disputes, but I remained committed to being there for her. Every visit was a mixed blessing. Seeing my daughter brought joy, but also reminded me of the life I had lost. I started looking for new job opportunities to help manage the debt and support my daughter. The job search was tough, and the fear of never escaping my financial problems loomed large. But slowly, I began to see a glimmer of hope. I landed a new position that, while not ideal, provided a steady income. It wasn't enough to fully recover from the damage, but it was a start. As I adapted to my new life, I began to find small moments of solace. I took up new hobbies to distract myself and gradually started rebuilding my life. It was a slow and painful process, but each day brought a new chance to move forward. I was learning to cope with the shattered pieces of my life and find some semblance of normalcy in the midst of the storm. The court battles seemed endless. Every hearing brought more strain, with Emily continuing to push for higher alimony and more financial support for the baby. It was clear she was determined to get as much as she could from me, and the legal fees piled up on top of everything else. Each session left me feeling more defeated and powerless. Despite the legal chaos, I knew I had to focus on maintaining a relationship with my daughter. Emily's attempts to use our child as a weapon against me were exhausting, but I persisted. Every visit with her was bittersweet. Seeing her smile brought me a fleeting sense of joy, but also a sharp reminder of the life I once had. Trying to find stability, I immersed myself in work. The new job I had secured wasn't ideal, but it offered a steady paycheck that helped me slowly chip away at the mountain of debt. The work was demanding, and it felt like a constant battle to keep my head above water. But I knew it was necessary to support myself and be there for my daughter. In therapy, I continued to explore my feelings of betrayal and anger. It was a slow process, but each session provided a small amount of clarity and relief. My therapist helped me understand that my pain was valid and that I needed to find ways to cope and eventually move forward. Financially, I began to see a glimmer of hope. The tight budget and relentless bill payments were still a struggle, but I managed to avoid sinking further into debt. The apartment, though small, had become a place where I could start to rebuild my life. I began to make it more comfortable, adding personal touches that made it feel like my own space. The new routine also included finding small moments of joy. I took up new hobbies, like jogging in the local park and reading books I'd always wanted to explore. These activities became my escape from the ongoing stress, providing a much-needed respite from the constant pressure of my new reality. I worked hard to keep the focus on my daughter during our visits. I wanted to ensure that she felt loved and secure, despite the chaos surrounding her. Emily's attempts to manipulate our interactions made it challenging, but I remained steadfast in my commitment to her well-being. As time went on, I began to recognize the progress I was making. The overwhelming pain of the initial betrayal was still there, but it was starting to be replaced by a sense of resilience and determination. I was learning to navigate the complexities of my new life and finding strength in the small victories along the way. Despite the difficulties, I managed to find a balance between my responsibilities and personal growth. Each day was a step toward healing, and I began to see that, while my life had been drastically altered, I still had the capacity to build something new and meaningful. The legal battles continued, but now I was beginning to find my footing in the midst of them. Emily's demands showed no sign of easing, and each court date felt like a battle I was barely winning. I focused on keeping my head down and pushing through, even when the financial strain seemed overwhelming. My job provided a steady, if modest, income. It was a source of stability I desperately needed, allowing me to cover my bills and provide for my daughter. I poured myself into work, using it as a distraction from the ongoing legal struggles and the emotional toll they were taking. It was a hard, unglamorous grind, but it was a lifeline. I continued to visit my daughter regularly. Despite Emily's attempts to use our child to hurt me, I was determined to be a positive presence in her life. Every moment with her was a bittersweet reminder of what I had lost, but also a source of hope. I tried to make each visit special, focusing on her happiness and well-being. In therapy, we began to explore the concept of forgiveness. It wasn't about letting Emily off the hook, but about finding a way to release the anger and resentment that had been consuming me. The process was challenging, and I struggled with the idea of forgiving someone who had caused so much pain. But as I worked through these feelings, I began to realize that forgiveness was more about freeing myself from the burden of anger than about absolving Emily of her actions. Financially, I started to see some improvement. I managed to avoid further debt and even began to save a little each month. The apartment, though small, was starting to feel more like home. I invested in small comforts, things that made it a more pleasant place to live and a refuge from the stress of the outside world. In my free time, I found solace in simple pleasures. I continued jogging, which helped clear my mind and provided a much-needed escape. I also discovered a passion for cooking, experimenting with new recipes and creating meals that brought me a sense of accomplishment and joy. My relationship with my daughter grew stronger, despite the difficult circumstances. I found ways to make our time together meaningful, and I felt a deep sense of pride in being a positive force in her life. Seeing her laugh and play reminded me of the love that still existed in my life, even amidst the pain. The legal battles were still ongoing, but I began to approach them with a sense of resilience. I learned to navigate the complexities of the process with a more measured approach, focusing on the things I could control and letting go of the rest. It wasn't an easy journey, but I was learning to adapt and persevere. Overall, while my life had been irrevocably changed, I started to find moments of peace and satisfaction. The road to recovery was long and filled with obstacles, but I was beginning to see that I had the strength to face them. Each day brought new challenges, but also new opportunities to rebuild and find a new sense of purpose. The relentless pressure of the legal proceedings began to ease, though it was far from over. Emily's demands had started to stabilize, and the financial strain was slowly becoming more manageable. I found a rhythm in the chaos, learning to cope with the ongoing demands while maintaining a semblance of normalcy in my life. My daughter and I continued to grow closer. Every visit felt like a small victory, a moment of joy amidst the turmoil. I cherished our time together, making the most of it with simple activities like reading stories and playing in the park. These moments became a sanctuary, a reminder of the love and connection that persisted despite everything. At work, I was starting to see the fruits of my labor. My efforts were beginning to pay off, and I received positive feedback from my boss. It wasn't a huge leap forward, but it was a step in the right direction. The stability of my job, combined with careful budgeting, allowed me to start rebuilding my financial health, albeit slowly. In therapy, we focused on setting new goals and finding ways to move forward. It was a time of reflection and planning, where I explored what I wanted for my future. The sessions were a mix of introspection and hope, helping me to frame my recovery not just as a response to the past, but as a journey toward a better future. I continued to invest in my apartment, making it a space that felt more like home. I painted the walls, added some personal touches, and created a cozy atmosphere that provided comfort and solace. The apartment, once a symbol of loss, was now becoming a place of personal growth and renewal. I also made a conscious effort to reconnect with old friends. Rebuilding my social circle helped to counteract the isolation I had felt. These relationships, though not as deep as they once were, provided support and a sense of normalcy. It was comforting to be reminded that despite the upheaval in my life, there were people who cared and were willing to stand by me. My relationship with Emily remained strained, but I focused on maintaining a civil approach for the sake of our daughter. We managed to communicate about necessary matters without letting emotions escalate. It wasn't perfect, but it was a step toward coexisting peacefully. Financially, I was making progress. I had managed to pay off some of my debts and was beginning to build a small emergency fund. The stability of my job, combined with a disciplined approach to spending, allowed me to start planning for a more secure future. The ongoing journey of personal recovery involved finding balance and accepting the new realities of my life. I recognized that the road ahead would still have its challenges, but I felt more equipped to handle them. Each day, I worked toward a sense of stability and self-sufficiency. Overall, while the past still cast a long shadow, I was learning to embrace the present and look forward to the future. My focus was on building a life that, while different from what I had envisioned, was full of its own possibilities and opportunities for growth. As the months rolled on, I started to feel a sense of stability in my life. The court battles were becoming less frequent, and Emily's demands had finally reached a point of relative calm. It was a welcome change, allowing me to focus more on rebuilding my life rather than constantly fighting to keep it intact. I continued to nurture my relationship with my daughter. Our time together was precious, and I made sure to create positive experiences for her. Simple outings, like visits to the zoo or local festivals, became cherished traditions. Seeing her happy and engaged brought me a profound sense of fulfillment and purpose. Work was going well. I had settled into a routine and even received a small promotion. It wasn't the breakthrough I had once hoped for, but it was progress. The increase in salary, though modest, provided some additional breathing room and allowed me to feel more secure about my financial future. Therapy sessions became more focused on setting long-term goals and building a vision for my future. I began to explore new opportunities for personal and professional growth. The discussions often delved into areas I had previously avoided, but they were crucial for moving past the pain and envisioning a life beyond the immediate struggles. The apartment continued to evolve as a personal sanctuary. I invested time in making it a comfortable and inviting space. I added small touches that made it feel more like home, like creating a cozy reading nook and displaying photos of happier times. It was a slow but rewarding process, turning my living space into a place of solace and personal retreat. Reconnecting with friends and building new social connections was an important part of my recovery. I started attending local community events and joining social groups. This not only helped me rebuild my support network but also provided a sense of belonging that had been missing for a while. My relationship with Emily remained cautious but functional. We managed to handle co-parenting responsibilities without letting personal grievances interfere too much. It was a far cry from the harmonious partnership we once had, but it was enough to ensure our daughter's well-being. Financially, the improvements were gradual but steady. I continued to pay down debt and had managed to save a bit more each month. The financial stress was still present, but it was becoming more manageable as I adhered to a strict budget and planned for the future. As I looked to the future, I began to see a clearer path forward. I started to think about new possibilities and set personal goals beyond mere survival. The pain of the past was still there, but it was gradually being overshadowed by a growing sense of hope and determination. Overall, the process of rebuilding my life was far from complete, but I had reached a point where I could see a new horizon. Each day brought new opportunities to move forward, and while the journey was ongoing, I felt more equipped to face whatever challenges lay ahead. With the legal battles finally behind me, I could turn my full attention to rebuilding my life. Emily and I had settled into a new routine for co-parenting that, while far from ideal, was functional. The constant strain of court dates and financial worries had lessened, giving me a chance to focus on the things that mattered most: my daughter and my own personal growth. Work was steady, and I continued to excel in my role. The recent promotion had provided a small but significant boost to my salary. And with it, a bit of extra financial security. I took on additional responsibilities at work, which not only helped with the financial aspect but also gave me a renewed sense of purpose and accomplishment. In my free time, I started exploring new hobbies and interests. I had always wanted to try painting but had never found the time. I enrolled in a local art class, and it became a therapeutic outlet for me. The act of creating something with my own hands was both soothing and invigorating. It was a way to express emotions I couldn't always put into words. My apartment continued to evolve into a true reflection of who I was becoming. I filled it with personal touches, artwork I had created, souvenirs from trips, and mementos from moments with my daughter. It felt like a sanctuary, a place where I could relax and recharge away from the chaos of my previous life. Reconnecting with old friends and making new connections in my community was a significant part of my healing process. I attended social gatherings, joined local clubs, and even volunteered for community events. These activities helped me feel more grounded and less isolated. They provided a sense of normalcy and connected me with people who supported and understood my journey. Spending quality time with my daughter remained a priority. We developed new routines, such as cooking together on weekends and visiting local parks. These activities not only strengthened our bond but also provided stability and happiness in her life. Seeing her smile and laugh was a constant reminder of what was truly important. Financially, I had managed to regain some stability. The debt was being paid down steadily, and I had even started a small savings fund for emergencies. It was still a tight budget, but the progress was reassuring. I felt more in control of my financial situation than I had in a long time. Therapy continued to play a crucial role in my life. I used the sessions to reflect on my progress and set new goals. The focus was shifting from recovery to growth. I explored ways to enhance my life further and began to plan for the future with a sense of optimism and excitement. As I looked toward the future, I felt a growing sense of hope. The pain of the past was gradually being overshadowed by the promise of new opportunities. I knew that challenges would still arise, but I felt better equipped to handle them with the resilience I had developed. In summary, my life had transformed significantly. I was no longer defined by the betrayal and loss I had endured but by the strength and growth that had emerged from it. Each day brought new possibilities, and I was ready to embrace them, building a future that reflected the person I had become. The months rolled on, and I found myself settling into a more balanced routine. The financial stability I had worked so hard to achieve was beginning to show real results. I was able to make consistent payments toward my remaining debts and even started putting a small amount into savings each month. The sense of progress was a welcome relief after the long period of uncertainty. My daughter and I continued to strengthen our bond. We created new traditions, like having movie nights with homemade popcorn and exploring nearby nature trails. Each new activity was a way to build positive memories and create a stable environment for her. Seeing her happy and thriving was a constant source of motivation for me. Work was increasingly fulfilling. I had taken on additional projects and responsibilities, which allowed me to further develop my skills and gain recognition. The job provided not only financial stability but also a renewed sense of purpose and achievement. It was gratifying to see the impact of my hard work and dedication. My apartment had truly become a haven. I had transformed it into a space that reflected my personality and aspirations. I added more art I had created, and even started a small indoor garden. The apartment was no longer just a place to live but a reflection of my journey and growth. Socially, I continued to expand my network. I participated in community events and joined groups that aligned with my interests. These connections provided emotional support and a sense of belonging. They also helped me rediscover joy in social interactions and deepen relationships that had been put on hold during the more difficult times. Financial planning became a regular part of my routine. I began setting longer-term financial goals, such as planning for retirement and considering investments. It was empowering to think about the future with a sense of security. Something that had felt distant during the most challenging periods. Therapy sessions were increasingly focused on self-improvement and future aspirations. I worked on strategies to continue growing personally and professionally. The sessions provided a platform to explore new ambitions and set concrete goals for the next phase of my life. The relationship with Emily remained cordial but distant. We managed to handle co-parenting responsibilities with a pragmatic approach, focusing solely on our daughter's needs. While the past would always be part of our story, we were able to coexist in a way that minimized conflict and prioritized her well-being. Looking back, I marveled at how far I had come. The pain of betrayal and loss had not vanished, but it had become a part of a broader narrative of resilience and recovery. I felt a deep sense of pride in the progress I had made and the life I was building. As I faced the future, I felt a blend of hope and determination. The challenges had forged a stronger, more resilient version of myself. Each day was an opportunity to continue growing, nurturing my relationships, and striving toward new goals. The journey was ongoing, but I embraced it with a renewed sense of purpose and optimism. As the seasons changed, I continued to navigate the complexities of my new life with a growing sense of stability. The daily routine, while still demanding, had become more manageable. My focus was on maintaining the positive progress I had achieved and looking for ways to further enhance my life. One area of significant growth was my relationship with my daughter. We celebrated milestones together, like her first school performance and her 6th birthday. Each event was a reminder of the joy and hope that had emerged from the difficulties we faced. I made a concerted effort to be present and engaged, creating lasting memories that both of us cherished. At work, I had earned the respect and recognition of my colleagues. The projects I had taken on were not only successful but also provided opportunities for professional growth. I began to explore the possibility of advancing further in my career, setting my sights on leadership roles and additional responsibilities. It was an exciting prospect, and I was determined to pursue it with dedication and enthusiasm. The apartment continued to be a source of pride and comfort. I had completed several personal projects, including redecorating and organizing, which made the space even more enjoyable to live in. I hosted a few small gatherings with friends and family, which helped to solidify my sense of community and belonging. The apartment was a reflection of my journey and growth, a space where I could truly feel at home. Socially, I felt more connected than ever. I had built a supportive network of friends and acquaintances who provided encouragement and companionship. Participating in various community activities and volunteering had become a fulfilling part of my life. These connections not only helped me feel grounded but also offered new perspectives and experiences. Financially, I continued to make steady progress. My budget was under control, and I was able to save regularly. I started to explore investment opportunities and financial planning with a newfound sense of confidence. It was empowering to see my financial situation stabilize and improve, providing a sense of security for the future. Therapy had shifted its focus toward personal development and long-term goals. I worked on strategies to further enhance my well-being and achieve my aspirations. The sessions were now about envisioning the future and setting actionable steps to reach those goals. The therapeutic work was instrumental in maintaining a positive mindset and driving continued growth. The relationship with Emily remained functional, though we continued to keep interactions strictly focused on co-parenting. We had established a routine that worked for both of us and allowed us to manage our daughter's needs effectively. While our past remained a part of our history, the current dynamic was centered on providing a stable environment for her. Reflecting on my journey, I felt a profound sense of accomplishment. The challenges I had faced had led to significant personal growth, and I was proud of the resilience I had developed. Each day brought new opportunities to build upon the progress I had made and continue moving forward with a positive outlook. Looking ahead, I felt optimistic about the future. The pain and struggles of the past were no longer the defining features of my life. Instead, I embraced the possibilities that lay before me with hope and determination. The journey was ongoing, but I was ready to face it with a renewed sense of purpose and confidence. The stability I had worked so hard to achieve was finally translating into deeper contentment and a sense of fulfillment. Life had settled into a routine that felt both rewarding and manageable. Each day, I found new ways to enjoy the progress I had made and to continue moving forward with purpose. My relationship with my daughter had blossomed into something incredibly special. We had established regular activities that we both looked forward to, such as weekend outings to museums and evening craft sessions. Her laughter and excitement were constant reminders of the joy and light she brought into my life. Our bond was a source of immense pride and happiness for me. At work, I continued to take on new challenges and responsibilities. My efforts had not gone unnoticed, and I had been given the opportunity to lead a team on a major project. It was a significant step forward in my career and a testament to the growth and dedication I had demonstrated. I approached the role with enthusiasm and a commitment to excellence, eager to contribute meaningfully and make a positive impact. The apartment had become a true reflection of my personal journey. It was no longer just a place to live but a space where I felt completely at ease. I had created a cozy reading nook, added artwork from local artists, and maintained a small indoor garden that brought a touch of nature into my daily life. The apartment was a sanctuary that offered comfort and inspiration. Socially, I felt more connected and engaged than ever before. I had cultivated a network of supportive friends and acquaintances who enriched my life with their presence and perspectives. Participating in community events and volunteering had become a fulfilling part of my routine, providing a sense of purpose and belonging. These connections had become a vital part of my support system. Financially, I had made significant strides. I had managed to eliminate a substantial portion of my debt and was steadily building my savings. The stability of my financial situation allowed me to start planning for long-term goals, such as investing in further education and exploring potential career advancements. The progress was a testament to my perseverance and careful planning. Therapy sessions had become a platform for setting and achieving new goals. I worked on developing strategies for personal and professional growth, using the insights gained from therapy to guide my decisions and actions. The sessions provided valuable tools for navigating challenges and maintaining a positive outlook on the future. The co-parenting relationship with Emily remained stable and focused on our daughter's well-being. While our interactions were limited to necessary discussions, we managed to create a functional arrangement that worked for both of us. Our shared commitment to our daughter's happiness and stability remained a priority. Reflecting on my journey, I marveled at how far I had come. The challenges of the past had shaped me, but they no longer defined me. I had emerged stronger and more resilient, with a renewed sense of purpose and optimism. The progress I had made was a testament to my strength and determination. Looking ahead, I was filled with hope and excitement for the future. The journey of rebuilding my life was ongoing, but I felt well equipped to handle whatever came my way. Each day presented new opportunities for growth and fulfillment, and I embraced them with a sense of purpose and enthusiasm. The path forward was bright, and I was ready to walk it with confidence and grace. As the year came to a close, I took a moment to reflect on the incredible journey I had been through. The progress in my personal and professional life was substantial, and I felt a deep sense of satisfaction. Each challenge I had faced had contributed to my growth, and the stability I now enjoyed was a testament to my resilience. My relationship with my daughter continued to flourish. We had built a strong foundation of trust and joy. Our regular outings, weekend adventures, and quiet moments together had created a bond that was both comforting and rewarding. Watching her grow and thrive was a daily reminder of the positive changes in our lives. At work, the success of the recent project had solidified my reputation as a capable leader. I had received recognition from senior management and was given new opportunities to contribute to the company's strategic goals. The role I had worked so hard to attain was both challenging and fulfilling, and I was excited about the potential for future growth. My apartment had become more than just a home. It was a reflection of my journey and achievements. I had hosted a few gatherings with friends and family, celebrating milestones and sharing my progress. The space was filled with personal touches that made it a true sanctuary. It was a place where I could unwind and find peace. Socially, I had strengthened existing friendships and formed new connections. The supportive network I had built was a source of great comfort and encouragement. I continued to participate in community activities and volunteer work, which provided a sense of purpose and helped me stay connected to those around me. Financially, I had made significant strides. The debt was nearly paid off, and my savings were growing steadily. I began exploring investment opportunities and planning for future financial goals, such as purchasing a home and saving for my daughter's education. The stability I had achieved was a result of careful planning and disciplined financial management. Therapy had shifted to focus on long-term aspirations and personal development. I worked on strategies for continued growth and explored new goals for my future. The sessions were invaluable in helping me stay grounded and motivated, providing tools for navigating challenges and setting a clear path forward. The co-parenting arrangement with Emily remained functional. Our interactions were limited to necessary discussions about our daughter, and we managed to maintain a cooperative approach. The priority remained on providing a stable and supportive environment for her, which was the ultimate goal. Looking back, I felt a profound sense of accomplishment. The journey had been long and challenging, but it had led to significant personal growth and stability. The pain and struggles of the past were now integrated into a narrative of resilience and strength. I had learned to embrace the present and look forward to the future with hope and determination. As the new year approached, I felt optimistic about the possibilities that lay ahead. The path I had forged was one of continued growth and fulfillment. Each day brought new opportunities to build on the progress I had made, and I was eager to face the future with confidence and excitement. The journey was far from over, but I was ready to embrace it with a renewed sense of purpose and joy. As the new year began, I felt a renewed sense of purpose and energy. The past year's achievements and challenges had shaped a vision for my future, and I was ready to embrace the opportunities that lay ahead with enthusiasm and determination. The relationship with my daughter continued to be a central source of joy and fulfillment. We had established a routine that worked well for both of us, balancing school, activities, and quality time together. Our weekend adventures and nightly bedtime stories had become cherished traditions, reinforcing the strong bond we had built. At work, I took on a new project that was both exciting and demanding. It involved collaborating with other departments and leading a diverse team. The responsibility was challenging, but it provided a chance to showcase my skills and contribute to the company's growth in meaningful ways. I approached the project with a strategic mindset and a commitment to excellence. My apartment remained a place of comfort and personal reflection. I continued to make small improvements, such as adding new decor and organizing spaces to enhance functionality. Hosting gatherings had become a regular occurrence, and the home had become a hub for socializing and sharing experiences with friends and family. Socially, I maintained an active presence in my community. Volunteering and participating in local events provided a sense of connection and purpose. I was involved in a few community initiatives that aligned with my values, and it was rewarding to contribute to causes I cared about while expanding my network of supportive relationships. Financially, I was focused on building for the future. With most of my debt cleared, I began exploring investment opportunities and financial planning for long-term goals. I consulted with a financial advisor to develop a comprehensive plan that included saving for my daughter's education, retirement, and potential real estate investments. Therapy sessions continued to be a valuable part of my life. The focus was on personal growth and setting long-term goals. We worked on strategies for maintaining balance, addressing any emerging issues, and continuing to build on the progress I had made. The sessions provided ongoing support and guidance as I navigated the complexities of my evolving life. The co-parenting arrangement with Emily remained stable. We had established clear boundaries and communication protocols that minimized conflicts and focused on our daughter's needs. While the relationship was not close, it was respectful and functional, ensuring that our daughter's well-being was always the top priority. Reflecting on the journey, I felt a deep sense of satisfaction. The hardships and struggles of the past had paved the way for significant personal and professional growth. I had learned to adapt, persevere, and embrace new opportunities with an open heart. As the year continued, I remained optimistic about the future. Each day presented new chances to build on the progress I had made and to pursue new aspirations. I was committed to continuing my journey of growth, balancing my responsibilities with my personal passions, and striving for a fulfilling and joyful life. Overall, the path I was on felt promising and bright. The challenges of the past had strengthened me, and I was ready to face whatever came next with confidence and a positive outlook. The journey was ongoing, but I embraced it with a sense of hope and excitement for the future. As spring unfolded, I felt a sense of renewal and optimism. The progress I had made in the past year was evident, and I was eager to build on that momentum. The fresh start of the season seemed to mirror the new phase of my life, full of opportunities and possibilities. My relationship with my daughter continued to deepen. We had found a rhythm that worked well for both of us, balancing school, extracurricular activities, and quality time together. Our regular outings, such as visiting the local science center and hiking in nearby nature reserves, became highlights of our weekends. Each experience strengthened our bond and brought joy into our lives. At work, the new project I had taken on was progressing well. I was leading a team that was tackling complex challenges and making significant strides. The collaboration and innovation involved were invigorating, and I felt a renewed sense of purpose in my role. The project's success would not only impact the company positively but also enhance my professional growth. My apartment continued to be a source of pride and comfort. I had recently hosted a small gathering to celebrate a milestone achievement at work. The event was a success, and it provided an opportunity to connect with friends and family in a meaningful way. The apartment had become a space that truly reflected my journey and aspirations, offering both solace and inspiration. Socially, I remained actively engaged in my community. I participated in several local initiatives and continued to volunteer for causes that were important to me. This involvement not only provided a sense of purpose but also allowed me to connect with others who shared similar values. The friendships and connections I had made were a vital part of my support network. Financially, I was making steady progress toward my long-term goals. The investments I had started were performing well, and I was continuing to save diligently. I had developed a comprehensive financial plan that included saving for future opportunities and ensuring stability for my daughter's education. The financial security I had worked hard to achieve allowed me to focus on other aspects of my life with greater peace of mind. Therapy sessions remained an integral part of my routine. We continued to explore strategies for personal growth and address any emerging challenges. The sessions were a space for reflection and planning, helping me to stay grounded and motivated as I navigated the complexities of my evolving life. The co-parenting arrangement with Emily remained functional and focused on our daughter's well-being. We had established a routine that minimized conflicts and allowed us to collaborate effectively. While our personal relationship was distant, our shared commitment to providing a stable environment for our daughter was unwavering. Looking back over the past year, I was struck by the transformation that had occurred. The difficulties I had faced had led to significant personal and professional growth. I had learned to embrace change, adapt to new circumstances, and pursue my goals with determination. As spring continued to unfold, I felt a renewed sense of hope and excitement for the future. The journey I had been on had prepared me well for the next chapter of my life. I was ready to face new challenges with confidence and to continue building a fulfilling and meaningful life for myself and my daughter. The future looked bright, and I was eager to embrace it with open arms. As summer arrived, I found myself reflecting on the journey I had undertaken. The warmth of the season seemed to symbolize the growth and renewal I had experienced over the past months. Life had settled into a fulfilling rhythm, and I was eager to continue building on the positive changes. My relationship with my daughter remained a cornerstone of my happiness. We continued to enjoy our time together, exploring new interests and creating lasting memories. Our summer activities included beach outings, bike rides through local trails, and even a small family vacation that allowed us to relax and bond. These moments were a testament to the strength of our relationship and the joy we found in each other's company. At work, the success of the project I had been leading was becoming evident. The team had achieved several key milestones, and the positive feedback from stakeholders was encouraging. I felt a deep sense of accomplishment as I saw the results of our hard work come to fruition. The experience had not only enhanced my professional skills but also reaffirmed my passion for my career. The apartment continued to be a haven of comfort and expression. I had recently undertaken a new project to create a small outdoor patio area, complete with a garden and seating for outdoor meals. The space became a favorite spot for relaxation and entertaining guests, adding a new dimension to the home I had worked so hard to make my own. Socially, I maintained an active presence in my community. I had joined a local book club and participated in various community events. These activities provided a sense of connection and allowed me to explore new interests while expanding my social network. The friendships and connections I made were a source of support and camaraderie. Financially, I was continuing to see positive results. The investments I had made were performing well, and my savings were growing steadily. I had started to explore opportunities for further diversification and long-term planning, including retirement savings and potential real estate investments. The financial stability I had achieved was a significant milestone, allowing me to focus on other aspects of my life with greater confidence. Therapy sessions remained a valuable resource for personal development. We focused on refining long-term goals and addressing any emerging issues. The sessions provided ongoing support and strategies for maintaining a balanced and positive outlook. I appreciated the opportunity to reflect on my progress and plan for the future. The co-parenting arrangement with Emily continued to be functional and focused on our daughter's well-being. We maintained clear communication and worked together to ensure that her needs were met. While our interactions were minimal, the cooperative approach ensured that our daughter had a stable and supportive environment. Looking back on the summer, I felt a deep sense of contentment. The progress I had made in various aspects of my life was evident, and I was proud of the resilience and determination that had guided me through challenging times. The journey had been transformative, leading to personal and professional growth that I had not initially imagined. As the season progressed, I looked forward to the future with optimism. The positive changes and achievements of the past year had set a strong foundation for what lay ahead. I was ready to embrace new opportunities, continue growing, and build a fulfilling life for myself and my daughter. The summer had been a time of reflection and renewal, and I was excited to see what the future held. As fall approached, I felt a sense of reflection and anticipation. The changing colors of the leaves mirrored the transformations in my life, and I was eager to embrace the new season with a fresh perspective and renewed energy. My relationship with my daughter remained a source of immense joy and pride. We had established a comfortable routine that balanced school, activities, and family time. Our fall adventures included visits to pumpkin patches, hiking through scenic trails, and cozy evenings at home with hot cocoa and board games. These moments continued to strengthen our bond and provide a sense of stability and happiness. At work, I was immersed in new responsibilities and challenges. The success of the previous project had led to additional opportunities for growth. I was now involved in strategic planning sessions and had taken on a mentorship role for new team members. The work was both demanding and fulfilling, and I felt a deep sense of purpose in contributing to the company's success and supporting my colleagues. The apartment continued to be a reflection of my personal journey. I had recently completed a renovation project, transforming a spare room into a home office. The space was now functional and inspiring, providing an ideal environment for focused work and personal projects. The changes in the apartment were a testament to the progress I had made and the new chapter I was entering. Socially, I remained active in my community and enjoyed deepening my connections. I participated in a local charity event and joined a new social group focused on shared interests. These activities provided a sense of belonging and allowed me to contribute to causes I cared about while expanding my network of friends and acquaintances. Financially, I continued to build on the progress I had made. My investments were performing well, and I was exploring opportunities for further growth and diversification. I reviewed my financial goals regularly and adjusted my strategies as needed. The stability and growth of my financial situation allowed me to focus on long-term planning and future aspirations. Therapy sessions provided ongoing support as I navigated this phase of my life. We focused on personal development, refining goals, and addressing any new challenges that arose. The sessions were instrumental in maintaining a balanced perspective and providing strategies for continued growth and well-being. The co-parenting arrangement with Emily remained effective. Our interactions were limited to discussions focused on our daughter's needs and well-being. The clear boundaries and cooperative approach ensured a stable environment for her, which was the ultimate priority. While our personal relationship was distant, our shared commitment to her happiness remained strong. Reflecting on the fall, I was struck by the progress and growth I had achieved. The journey had been marked by significant personal and professional milestones, and I felt a deep sense of accomplishment. The challenges I had faced had led to meaningful change and a renewed sense of purpose. Looking ahead, I was filled with optimism for the future. The positive changes and achievements of the past year had laid a strong foundation for what was to come. I was eager to continue building on this momentum, embracing new opportunities, and striving for a fulfilling and balanced life. The fall had been a season of reflection and growth, and I was excited to see what the future held.